Hi, my name is Menuka and today I'm going to show you how I made this crochet blouse, and I really hope you will be able to make one for yourself too. First, let's talk about the yarn. For this project, you can use any yarn you like along with a hook that match your yarn, and for mine I used 3.5mm hook and 3-ply acrylic yarn. For the measurement, I will show you exactly how I measure everything throughout the tutorial, as you can easily adjust it to fit your own size. For the stitch, I'm using the Suzette stitch, which is made by working one single crochet and one double crochet in the same stitch. So let's get started. We will begin by making the cup for the front. Start with a slip knot, then make chain 20. Skip the first chain from hook, and in the second chain make one single crochet and one double crochet in the same stitch. That's your Suzette stitch. Skip the next chain, then make another Suzette stitch in the following chain. Repeat this pattern all the way to the end of the row. In the last chain, make your Suzette stitch, then add one single crochet and place a stitch marker in that single crochet. Then make Suzette stitch in the same last chain. This is where we will be increasing in every row. Now working on the other side, skip the first chain and make a Suzette stitch in the next chain. Skip the next chain, then make another Suzette stitch. Repeat this across to the end. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now make a Suzette stitch into the last double crochet from the previous row. One important thing to remember is that we will always work into the double crochet from the previous row and skip the single crochet. Skip the next stitch, make one Suzette stitch in the next stitch. Continue this pattern until you reach the stitch marker. When you reach the stitch marker, remove it. In that same stitch, work one Suzette stitch, then one single crochet. Place your marker in the single crochet, then make another Suzette stitch, all in the same stitch. This is your increasing point. Skip the next stitch, make a Suzette stitch and continue this pattern. Repeat this step until your cup reaches your desired size. For me, I made 9 rows. As you can see, I have made 2 cups. Now we will be going to take the measurement. Place the cups on your chest to see how they fit. Then take your measuring tape and start from the point where one cup begins. Wrap the tape around your back and bring it on to the same point on the other side. For me, this measurement comes out to 16 inches. Now attach your yarn to one of the cups and start making a chain that matches your measurement. For my 16 inches, I have made 72 chains. Make sure your chains count is even number. Out of total measurement, about 6 inch will be the front and the remaining 10 inches will be for the back. Now we will start working on that chain. We are going to follow the same pattern we used for the cup, the Suzette stitch. Start by skipping the first chain from the hook. Then make a Suzette stitch in the second chain from the hook. Repeat this pattern all the way to the end of the chain. Once you reach the end, slip stitch into the second and third stitch of the cup. Now turn your work. Work in the first stitch. Skip the next stitch and continue the Suzette stitch pattern across the row. Place your stitch marker on the 10th front stitch. We will not be working on those. For this piece I have a total of 72 chains, which gives me 36 suzette stitches. Out of those, 10 stitches are for the front and 26 stitches are for the back. We will only work up to the stitch marker. Once you reach it, chain 1, turn your work and continue working for the back panel. Continue working your rows in this pattern until you reach your desired width. For me, I made 38 rows, which is about 14 inches. Once you reach your last row, made a suzette stitch. Then chain 20. Now attach this chain to the other cup by slip stitching into the third and fourth stitch of the cup edge. Remember, we made 10 suzette stitches for the front of one side of the blouse, so for the other side as well we will make 10 suzette stitch. Turn your work and start making suzette stitch into those chains. After finishing the chains, continue working across the back panel as well. Chain 1 and turn your work again. Make suzette stitch throughout both the back panel and the front part. When you reach the end of the row, make a suzette stitch in the last stitch. Then slip stitch into the first and the second stitch on the edge of the cup. Before attaching the front and the back panel, we will first work along the side of the cups. As you can see, this part isn't very straight and we need to be straighten it a little so it will be easier to sew to the back panel. Or you can also slip stitch the back panel with the front. So along the sides, make one single crochet in the higher part, one double crochet in the lower parts. Continue this along the edge to even it out. Once that done, we will attach the front panel to the back panel by slip stitching them together, but only along the cup length. Leave the remaining part open for the armholes. Now for the sleeves, you can make the sleeves as long or as short you like. For me, I wanted short sleeves, so I will only work 5 rows. To start the sleeves, do not cut your yarn. Continue with that and chain 2. Now make scissor stitches into the double crochet stitch of the previous row and skip the single crochet stitch. Continue this pattern across. When you reach the end, slip stitch into the chain 2 space. Then chain 2, turn your work and repeat the pattern. Make scissor stitches into the double crochet and skip the single crochet. Continue this until you reach your desired sleeve length. Now do the same for other side also. After completing both side sleeves, your blouse will finally start taking shape. Now you can try it on to check the fit. See if it fits well around the armholes, neckline and length. Now we will attach the cuffs. For me, my cuffs were a little bigger, so from the middle point of the cuff I went 4 stitches up and 4 stitches down, making a total of 9 stitches, and I slip stitched them. But for you, you can either slip stitch only at the middle point or adjust a few stitches up and down according to your preference. Now attach your yarn, make slip stitches to secure the cuffs, then chain 2 and start working scissor stitch all around the cuff and the neckline. As you continue, when you reach the back neckline, you can adjust the scissor stitch according to the shape, since that part is not completely straight. Keep going until you reach the chain 2. Then slip stitch into the chain and turn your work. At this point you can fasten off it. You like the fit, but for me it felt a little open, so I made 3 more rows. Now again try it on and check the fit. So now it is almost complete. Once again I tried on and checked the fit. For me it was slightly loose at the bottom, so I added an elastic thread to make it fit better. You can do the same or simply go around with slip stitch. Is totally up to you and your reference. And that's the full process of this crochet blouse. If you have any further question, feel free to comment, and thank you for watching.